This video will be removing your elastics in your AppleCheeks cloth diapers before replacement. So eventually your elastics are going to wear out in your diapers and you're going to get the point where you need to change them out. It's really easy to remove them. This is the only tool you need to remove them. Oftentimes some of the ladies who do repair on AppleCheeks will ask that you remove them ahead of time too, and it can save you some money too. So this little tool is handy to have. This is a seam ripper, and this is what you're going to use to remove your elastics. I've already removed one elastic from this diaper, and this is the shot elastic. And as you can see, there's some ribboning. I call it ribboning. And that's the sign in these elastics that it's time to replace them. There's still a lot of stretch in it. Like you could still go for quite a while, but you can start replacing them when you start to see those signs. So the first step to getting the elastics out of these diapers is turning it inside out. First, I'm going to show you what a relaxed elastic will look like. So your elastic line will look sort of like this. This is the removed one, but it'll look somewhat like this versus your nice springy elastic over on this side. And we're going to remove one of these springy elastics anyway, just to show you how to do it. So we'll go for the front one because it's short, but I'll show you what the ribboning sort of looks like when the elastics are still stitched into the diapers. So as you can see, these are old elastics. They're starting to wear out a little bit along here. And you can you can't really tell on that one. Yeah, you can't really tell on these ones because they're really not bad, but there's a little bit of that waviness. Once you start seeing, once you start seeing that waviness in your elastics, it might be time to replace them. This front elastic is actually quite good. It really doesn't need replacement, but I'm gonna show you how to take it out because the front elastic's the shortest, so it'll make the shortest video. So the first step you need to do is find your anchor stitching. And the anchor stitching is on each end of each elastic. You're going to be very careful. This is very sharp, and you don't want to put a hole in your pull. This is the riskiest part of the whole procedure for putting a hole in pull because the fleece and pull are stitched directly together. So you pull them out and you hold some pressure. You take your seam ripper, you grab one stitch, and you pop it. You put a little bit of pressure to pop it off. Now you pull them apart a little bit more, and you find the next stitch, and same thing. You can see it there, pop it off. And you do that until you get the anchor stitch out. Once you get to where the elastic is between the fleece and the pull, do it between the fleece and the elastic, not between the pull and the elastic. If you get a hole in your fleece, it's okay. It's not ideal, obviously. We're trying to avoid holes, period. But if you get a hole in your pull, your diaper's gonna leak. You've ruined, potentially, the diaper. If you get a hole in your fleece, you just have a hole in your fleece. Fleece is a type of material that doesn't fray. So if there's a hole there, it's not gonna get bigger, it's not gonna get wider. If you just put a small hole because of your repair work, it's okay. The diaper's still usable. So you can see, I do a few stitches at a time. The more comfortable you get with this procedure, the more stitches you can do, the better you become. If you're starting out, you can see here, bring it closer to the camera, you can pluck one tiny stitch at a time. The most important part is to make sure you don't put pressure on that seam ripper to rip the stitches until you can see the tip of your seam ripper. Otherwise, that's when you'll put a hole in your fleece. So once you get to the end and you have all your elastic taken out, you just flip the diaper back in right side out and you're ready to cut the elastics and start putting new elastics in this diaper. You can see there's a line both at the two ends where the anchor stitches were, and in the next video, the elastic inserting video, you're going to use those lines to anchor in your new elastic. I don't. You can follow this line when you're doing your straight stitch. I don't. I line up the foot of my sewing machine along the edge of the serging here so that I just straight stitch down. As you can tell, that line, that stitch line is not straight. So it's very difficult to follow it exactly, and it's going to take you longer if you're repairing lots of diapers. There will sometimes be some threads too. You can pick those off if you want, but they'll come out with washing as well. So that is removing elastics from your AppleCheeks cloth diapers.